Cuando yo hice mi visión, cuando hice la visión por primera vez con mis estudiantes, no había tomado en cuenta las necesidades de la comunidad. No pensé en las cosas que ya habían en la comunidad, entonces tuve que hacer todo de nuevo.
People ask me what would I do differently at Teach for America. This is probably the number one thing. If we could root all of our teachers and all of our alumni in a collective, contextualized vision, I think our impact would be much, much greater.
At the intersection, I teach our students that to make change, you need to dig deep into the context of your community. In order to move forward, we need to first understand where we are and how we got here.
You see like the generalizations, the discrimination, the racism, and you see how separate these low-income communities are. Not only do you see it, you experience it.
So we begin by teaching students about the history of Baltimore and the ways in which it was formed through open segregation, through housing, through schools, and we challenge our kids to think systematically.
In order to improve any school or any family or any community, we have to understand the dynamics that are at play.
What are the political dynamics? What are the socioeconomic dynamics? And what's the history that has produced this enormous disparity in wealth or access or privilege? It's really important that we ground ourselves in a structural analysis of the dynamics of the places we work in.
I understand the housing covenants and the predatory lending, and I understand the racial implications that come when you're born into a lower class Black family. I understand those things, and as a result, I have a contextualized vision of how to fix those things.
It's not that our kids aren't achieving, it's that they're dealing with histories of systemic oppression. And it's incredibly important for us as educators to understand that. We need to really do our own analyses and identify what's really going on with our kids.
I think it's all about reframing the way we think about it and reframing the way that we think about these communities and understanding that you can't separate a community of people from the history they've been subjected to. So what is the narrative of that community? To understand someone, understand what shaped them. Understand their story.
I think community visits sort of help us get multiple stories of our children's lives as opposed to just a single story. They're all individual, unique people, and each one is bringing something else into the table. Each one is grappling with a different set of challenges. As we keep visiting the community, it nourishes our understanding of what all of those several stories are.
Seeing the world through the lens of others' eyes shapes how you understand yourself and the role that you play in the world at large. And so because I've gotten and been exposed to their narratives, I better understand my own.
So I think a contextualized vision means that it's reflective of the places where you're doing the work. What the needs are, what the challenges are, what the demands are, what the dreams are of the people in that neighborhood, block, city, community, state that you're working.
Beginning with this year, we have our teachers take the first month to delve into their communities and ask people what it is that they want for their kids. What is the ideal? What are their dreams? What are their hopes? What do they want for their children? So that they can have a clear understanding of that moving forward, and they can incorporate that into their classroom, into what they want for their kids.
When I went to their homes, I asked about their childhood. I asked about what responsibilities they have at home. What's the relationship between the parents and the students? What's the parents' philosophy or expectation of their kids?
那你们小时候父母也会对你们有什么？
我们小时候是父母没的，我们男孩子大几孩子嘛，但是始终条件不一样嘛。那我们男孩子父母在出门是乡下的。
Los primeros meses conversaba con los papás y cada vez que les hablaba sobre la posibilidad de que alguna vez sus hijos tengan una beca, es como que me miraban con mucha desconfianza, como si ellos de verdad no creyeran eso. Lo que hice fue hablar con cada uno de ellos y preguntar, solo preguntar. Creo que ese fue el primer paso. Yo le quería preguntar sobre si usted, ¿qué sueños tiene para Josecito? Yo los escuché, les sugerí, volví a escucharlos y juntos sacamos conclusiones.
Lo que él sabe tiene que compartir. ¿De qué sirve tú sabes y esconder y los demás no saben, ¿no?
Hice muchas preguntas. ¿Qué esperaban de la escuela? ¿Qué esperaban de los chicos? ¿Qué cosas esperan de mí? ¿Qué les gustaría que pase al final de año? ¿Cómo creen que lo podría hacer mejor? Por favor, enséñenme, díganme. Es eso, o sea, es una relación de uno a uno, de confianza.
O sea, mayormente yo, ¿no? La atención lo que tiene la profesora es cuando nosotros visitamos siempre nos atienden, nos preguntan qué necesitamos, en qué nos puede apoyar. O sea, esa es, ¿no? la pregunta siempre la profesora. Por eso justo es de eso, ¿no? Lo que más, lo que se ha hecho ganar, ¿no? Todo el cariño con toda la comunidad.
Thank you all so much for coming. It's wonderful to see so many of you, so thank you for coming. What are your hopes and dreams? What do you hope your family can achieve through education? Our families get to sit and reflect and think about, what are your hopes and dreams for your child's education? And many families say, I have never been asked that before. I've never been asked by a teacher, a school leader, my school, about what my hopes and dreams are for my child. Thank you for giving me that opportunity, because it makes me step back and think about, what is all this for? And what can education really do for my family and my child?
The people who came were writing things. I want to do this. I want to be a part of my child's education. I want success for my child.
RISE has opened my eyes to see the reality of our community and our children. Not what I want to think, but what we really need to know as parents. I don't accept that my kids are never going to go to college. I think if I get involved and I talk to the teachers, talk to whoever is willing to help my children, I will get them to college someday.
I think what I've seen in schools that have a contextualized vision is you have this amazing synergy that happens from all folks rowing in the same direction. And so while it takes more planning to make sure everyone has an oar and everyone knows where you're heading, what you get when you're on the water and the water gets rough or the night gets dark is you actually have, in the moments of greatest challenge, you see the boat moving much more smoothly and much more swiftly because there's actually a shared sense that we all know where we're going.
People are stepping up because there is a focus. We know where we're headed. We know the ultimate goal. It's written into our Unified Improvement Plan.
We need to stop acting as a silo of one and build out to bring in all the community to support us.
When we're talking about a student, it's like you're creating a full circle cycle of how they're gonna succeed if you're doing this at school and someone's doing the rest at home.
If I don't push him hard enough, he's gonna become a statistic. And I have the power to change that.
There's something really powerful about bringing people together in a community to say, it's not just your problem, you feel it too, you feel it too, you feel it too, and it's happening across this country, and you, 10, 20, 50 people in this room have the power to do something about it that really gets people excited.
If we want to see a change, we want to start making it now, because we cannot wait for someone else to make our change.
If you have 50% of the parents getting involved because they love their kids and they want to get their kids educated, it would be an amazing organization. It would be something incredible.
If we're all working as individuals and we're fighting this massive problem, it's probably true that we can't get there in our lifetime. But if we're working to shape a vision and we're sharing that vision with the other teachers who are part of our community and the other alumni, as well as the other teachers in our schools and the students' parents, and ultimately it becomes a collective vision within that community that everyone is aligning their energies toward and that people are constantly reflecting on, are we getting there? Then it becomes possible to see that vision realized in our lifetime.
You need to create not only that type of community, but that type of world where everybody helps one another. If we unify, then we can turn this whole thing around.